Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. It sort of struck me that the combination of repotting videos and various other things going on, we haven't actually had a look round in here lately. Now, I don't want to film blooms today because everything in bloom on the 8th is coming up. Obviously, it's too close to start filming blooms now and then do them a couple of days later, so I'll miss out on that. But I was just watering a lot today and I thought there's a lot actually going on out here that's good stuff that wouldn't normally get filmed, quite honestly. This one is the Infundibulum crossed with Lowii. These are quite long lasting blooms, so I'm expecting these to be around for a while, but I had to wait to repot this for signs of life at the base. Well, obviously the timing was good. We've got a mass of new roots there. There's no physical new growth starting yet, but again they could be being inhibited by the fact it's actually in bloom. But this does look like that's going to bud as well. Top of that cane, black hair type, that one. The little Frosty Dawn, that got repotted, appropriate time. We've got stuff going on at the bottom, got new roots obviously. And we've got a nice strong new growth coming out of the base of that cane, the one that's actually got the little flower on. And I'm reasonably sure there's another 2 new growths there, unless they're weeds. They might be weeds. But I've got a new growth, so you know we've got something happening. That's the main thing, is just getting something happening. And this, I was well pleased when I looked at it. This is my very rare Odontoglossum, basically, Odontoglossum crispum, which is now Oncidium alexandriae. Well, not in here, it's not. And I lost this, it rotted, and I ended up with one bulb that wasn't rotten, with the most minute little growth coming out of it. Well, that little growth didn't progress very well, but it produced another one. Hang on just a minute, that's my phone. Right, I've forgotten where I was now. That was just somebody phoning up to confirm another orchid talk. Some sort of gardening club in July, so it's another one, and they're paying me as well. Yay! Right, looking at stuff, weren't we? We're just looking at progress on stuff. This one up here was a gift. This is, I believe it's a Nobile type. This has got some nice new growths coming out. Nice big one at the base there, nice one over here, and yeah. So that one's coming on. There's another one coming out the back there. So that one's taken okay. Lots of new roots, doing okay. Well, I noticed this Catatante's got a spike tucked away in there. So the spikes on this can grow absolutely enormous. So it'll be a while, but they grow quite fast. So that's started on its latest growth. So we'll have those blooms to look forward to down the line. I didn't see much else on the Oncidium front, I must admit. I keep looking at these 2 biggies up here. This is the Sotoanum. And I mean these bulbs are maturing now on the lake. Oh, he says there's a spike in there. It's highly unlikely to be a new growth there. The new growth would probably have come out there. So that's probably a spike. So having just said it's not, it probably is. And the other one up there, the Tahitian Dancer, these are far too young to spike yet, but it's growing well. You know, there's 3 new growths, well 4 actually, are growing really well. So it's just produced a good root system since it was done. So's this one, come to think of it. But, yeah, so I think we have at least 1 spike starting on the Sotoanum. What else? Nothing much up on that shelf. Nothing much going on there. Well, one thing you might be able to see is that large Restrepia in the corner is the sheer number of new growths coming out. They're the very pale coloured spiky bits sticking up in the middle of the plant. So that's really taken off since that was repotted. So that's coming on, that's good. My Disa buds are starting to swell. I think the first one's going to be open in the next few days, starting to peel back, so we should have a Disa bloom out soon. Oh, the Bulbophyllum sycamense funny thing hanging out in the middle of the plant is definitely going to be a bloom. That's definitely a bloom. And it doesn't look like it's going to be very big. So it might be singularly average or unimpressive, but we'll wait and see. You know, give it a chance, as they say. That was that. There was something else. Another dendrobium. Where's it gone? Oh, this one over here that I thought I'd lost. This is an antelope type. It's called black antelope. Wonder what colour that's going to be. But this lost nearly all of its leaves last year in the heat. It just retained the leaves on here. But it's going mad at the base now, so it's going to recover. We've got 4 new growths coming at the moment and new roots pushing out with them. So I think that's going to come on now. That should be okay. I was quite worried about that. I thought I'd lost it before it ever bloomed. That's a non-bloomer as well. And over here, recently played with my Phalaenopsis type, Thai Angel, and it ended up being 2 plants. A single cane with a nice new growth, well that's pushing on and is now starting some roots. And the other piece is this piece behind. And there's signs of things going on at the base, some little green bits showing. There'll probably be roots initially, but what I did notice this morning, if I can turn it round against the light, we got a spike, and we might have 2. So that hasn't long been out of bloom. I'm not sure it was on that, whether it was on that cane or that cane. It was on one of the 2, but that just goes to show with the Phalaenopsis type, they don't always produce a single spike out the top. They can re-spike lower down. So we should have some more Thai Angel blooms down the line. That will be good. Looking forward to that. That's quite a nice plant. What else? There was something else. It's mainly just things are growing, which is, it's the time of year, isn't it? This is the growing time of year. It's what you'd expect. But the thing is with the Oncidium types, a lot of these don't have an annual cycle. Their sort of growth pattern is more like 9, 10, 11 months. So they don't need a full year often to mature a growth and bloom again. They can bloom earlier as the years go on. So they can almost be in bloom any time. Some of them are annual. They have a specific season, but a lot of them don't. So they can sort of come any time they like, really. Cattleyas are all growing basically. There's just new growths coming everywhere. I might take somebody's advice. They said my purpurata, this is the highest light Cattleya I've got, Cattleya type, and I can't give it any more light than that unless it goes up here with the Vandas. But that's a heavy pot, and to actually stick that on some sort of contraption to actually hang it up here, and it would have to go right up near the roof to have an effect. So the pot's going to be down here somewhere to get the leaves up in the roof. I'm thinking about it. It would also put a hell of a lot of weight on that wire. So those 2 Vandas don't weigh much at all because they're bare rooted. So the only weight there is the plant itself and that wooden basket. So hanging a clay pot up there with a large plant in it might not be the best of ideas. I might pull the roof down, you never know. Yeah, I think that'll do. It just suddenly dawned on me, we haven't looked at the orchids lately, doing other things. Anyway, we get, this one, this has got a stonking new growth coming out of the base. This is another black hair type. In fact, it's another infundibulum cross. But that's a beautiful new growth coming out there. And it's funny, the new roots are coming out the previous cane, not where the new growth is. I'll take the roots wherever they come out. I don't mind. Yeah, a lovely strong new growth coming out of there. That's going to be a huge cane, I hope. Anyway, so that's coming on. And my Zygopetalums are in a sorry state. I had a sort of look over those this morning. They're not happy bunnies at all. This is it. There is one I threw away, which was the Arta Ellie, I think it was called. It's just never grown, and I've just got fed up with looking at it. But these I'm attempting to rescue. That's all I can say. They're going to get given a chance. This one has a new growth. It is trying, yeah. So that one's making an effort. Not much of one, but it's making an effort. I don't see any growth around this side of the plant. So that one's doing something. Better than nothing, I suppose. This one here again is trying. We've got a new growth coming out of here. And this will be a new growth on an immature growth. One that didn't even finish growing and didn't even produce a proper pseudo bulb. But it's doing something. It's making an effort. We'll see how that one gets on. And the other one up the back, I don't think this one may not make it. Don't think there's any sign of life on this one yet. No. Well, we've got some signs of new roots. That's better than nothing, I suppose. That'll replace the ones it hasn't got. So yeah, they're all in a bit of a sorry state. And having done so well and made me pleased as punch that I'd finally managed to grow some Zygos, they just went down. They got repotted, they're in fresh media, they'll do their own thing. They'll either make it or they won't. I've sort of got like that with them now. They're not exactly a ridiculously expensive plant, so if I lose the ones I've got, I'll probably get another one, because I like the plants and I like the blooms, you know. And they don't cost a huge amount of money. I'd just like to keep one going for a few years just for once. It would be nice. Still, working on it. That'll do, I think, because it's getting late in the day. I don't normally film at this time of day, but I've got the workmen next door with the diggers, and the noise that they make I can't film while they're working. So they finished a little early this afternoon, and most of the heavy stuff may be finished now, although they've still got digging to do and stuff, so the mechanical digger will still be out there. Cats have vacated the premises. They just shot out this morning when the digger fired up, and I haven't seen them since. Now it's quiet, they might come back again. They won't be too far away. They just wait for it to get quiet and still, and then they'll wander back. They know where the food is. It's nothing to do with coming home to see me. They just want some flipping food, I expect. You know what cats are like. Yeah, so there's a bit of disruption while the builders are in. And I'll work round it the best I can. So we'll see how we get on. Yeah, that phone call was good to confirm that talk. And I was expecting it to be much later in the year. And it's in the morning as well. That's really unusual. Most talks are in the evening. I've got to be there for sort of 10 o'clock in the morning. Still, so be it. Gets it over and done with during the day. And I might look into going on somewhere afterwards if the weather's good, because the place where I've got to go to gets me a long way towards some places to visit, like for native orchids or something like that. So I might make a visit out of that as well. I'll see how I go. Well, the next big thing coming up for me is the Malvern show. I mean, that's come round really quick. That's next week. Picking my daughter up on the Wednesday evening. She's coming down for cat and orchid sitting while I'm away. I'll be driving down on Thursday, at the show all day Friday and Saturday, and then coming back after breakfast Sunday morning. Because that'll be quite a bit of driving. I've got to get back from Malvern, but then I've actually got to take my daughter home on Sunday so that she can get to work Monday morning. So yeah, fair bit of driving, but I like my driving, I don't mind. Sorry, I keep looking up in the air. There was another dendrobium that was doing something unexpected. No, can't see it at the moment. It'll come to me as soon as I sit down at the computer, I expect. But anyway, I mean, at this time of year, most stuff's just growing, doing its own thing, and you can only be pleased with that, you know. But relatively speaking, orchids are slow, you know, compared with some other plants. But you get to know your own plant, and you get to know when something's doing better than it used to, and that's all you can hope for, you know. Up to the point where it does as good as it can ever do. But that's difficult to judge. You know, you can't judge that with a brand new plant, can you? You have to have had it for some considerable time to say, you know, this year it's grown exactly the same as last year, and I can't expect it to be any better than that. That's a difficult state to get to. But all we do is do what we can, you know, do our best, and that's all we can do. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Oh, let's have a quick look at this. I've got a feeling this is going to go over soon. This is the Naeviem. This is just in case this one doesn't make it till the 8th, because these blooms don't last a huge amount of time. This is one of my most attractive Oncidium types, I think. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's not just the simplistic colours on it. It's the patterning and it's the frilly shape. I mean, the profile of this orchid is quite unusual. The actual bloom, looking at it from the side here, yeah, compared with head on, it's just an attractive bloom. The only thing it does do is the depth of the yellow fades. After about a week, it starts to get a very pale colour. And when it's almost white, it means the flower's about to die. But there's still a very attractive blossom, that one. Very good, very good. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.